Welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword with you. And my high-end Bestech overview, best of video, seemed to be well liked, so I decided to try the same thing with the budget variety of Bestechs. And Bestech is very well known for producing an excellent $50 to $60 knife, and that's where these knives fall. They're solid, they're smooth, they all run on bearings. They come in various steels, mainly your budget steels, but very good nonetheless. Solid lockup on each of them. And why not get into detail? We'll start with the oldest, which is the swordfish. I did a review on this not that long ago, so on any of these, if you need more detail, if you need dimensions and specs, check out the individual videos or certainly look them up on White Mountain Knives. And don't forget, if you're ordering from White Mountain Knives, to use your coupon code or discount code OLDSWORD, all one word, OLDSWORD, and you'll get 10% off. Anyway, this is a beautiful blade. This is a long one, almost a 4-inch knife of D2. This actually came into my possession a couple of years ago, I think a year and a half to 2 years ago. You can see that this one is of D2, marked as the swordfish. Has the older style clip, which is not deep carry, and this was used on a number of them back in the day. Has a lanyard hole, has a partial back strap, back spacer. It is it milled out inside? I always gotta grab my light to take a look. Yeah, we got some skeletonizing in there to lighten it up. Not a particularly heavy knife. Ergos on it are very nice and neutral, just a little bit of a palm swell there. Got a nice guard going. We got jimping on the back of that blade near the pivot. Good for a number of different holds, easily held in the point down. Got a long, I would call it elegant, spear point blade with a grind going up about, I'd say about 3/4 of the way at least. Got a flat spine and a nice swedge. Smooth action. Almost completely drop shut, but not so much that you're gonna damage your fingers on the way down. Two-tone handle on all the swordfish. This one happens to be a tan and black. There's your Bestech logo on the pivot. Nice skeletonized flipper tab. No jimping on the front of it. And a decent detent, difficult to fail. Yep. Sticks long enough so that it's going to snap out on you. Got to move on. This is the Penguin. I was going to call it the Pelican. Did a review on this recently as well. Interesting design. Interesting blade. The way that that's scalloped in two places there, and maybe has a point that's reminiscent of the beak of a penguin. I'm not sure. That must be where it got its name. Steel on this one is also D2. Much different blade shape than the swordfish. The swordfish perhaps named for a long pointy bill on the swordfish. This one does have kind of a downturned swedge and grind. decent belly, and you do have sort of a go forward position there if you keep your finger sideways, although I wouldn't overcommit to it. Steel liners, exquisite action. Pretty much fall shutty. Two-tone handle on this one as well. I got OD green and black. I'm going to pump up our light here just a tad. And the deep carry clip on this guy, as we're seeing on a lot of the more recent budget Bestechs. Got a half back spacer that does have some fairly aggressive jimping on it. You can feel that. And great jimping down in the thumb ramp here on the back of the blade. Ergos on this are a little more dedicated than on the swordfish. Your hand does fall right into it though. You got no finger grooves, which is good, except that for the index finger, and that's plenty big to accommodate just about anybody's finger, I would think. Do have a lanyard hole. And they're not real narrow knives. Plenty to hold on to. You've got contouring there on the scale. And, you know, some interesting machining. And there's your skeletonizing on the inside. A little bit, as much as we can see. So there we have the Penguin in D2. Moving on to the third of my best budget Bestechs. This is the kendo. And the kendo is a very slender knife. Let's see if I can make an exception here and give you the handle thickness. Well, still comes in at a half, 0.53. While we're at it, got a good blade stock of 3.5 millimeters. It is lightest of the ones I've shown so far, let's say that. Beautiful tanto grind, black on the flat, and just enough of a grind here to create that tanto and give you that secondary point. Nice satin finish. I think these do come in blacked out, and they do come without the black flat. Have like a satin flat or perhaps a stonewash flat on some versions. This is the desert tan handle. Got a few little markings there, but generally it is a very neutral Japanese style stick-like handle. Lanyard hole. And not much of a back spacer. It's mostly open. It's G10 back spacer. Bestech logo here. And not overly branded. In fact, nothing on this side except your D2 marking in the black area. And Bestech's logo on the left side. Deep carry clip. That's a nice neutral deep carry clip. Nothing too fancy, but drops just about all the way into the pocket. Steel liners. Nice action. Not too heavy a D10 on this one. Can I feel it? Nope. Can feel it kind of swing out like a pendulum. Yep. And all of these knives are on the larger side. They're all around at least a 3 3/4 inch blade. It's the way I like them. That's my sweet spot, 3 3/4 all the way up to 4. I've got some 4 1/4. Might have one 4 1/2. Of course, you get into cold steel, then you're way out there in blade size territory, but this is a Bestech day, so we're doing those. Nice lightweight, simple flipper, the kendo. All right, we're narrowing it down. Let's go to the mako. And the mako is a beefy knife with, let's see, yeah, 3.7, let's see, 3.7 millimeter blade. Looks thicker than that simply because they have kept the thickness, as you can see, right out to the point. Point's almost like a diamond shape at the end. The mako's what we'll call a drop point with a long fuller. Bestech branding on that side. And what have we got? K110 on this one, which is a D2 variant. A little higher end D2. Supposed to hold an edge a little better. And might possibly have a little better stain resistance, rust resistance. I'm not entirely certain. Again, I do recommend the app that is called Knife Steel Compositions, and you can get that for iOS and Android. I use it all the time to look up steels that I'm not familiar with. We have a lot of aggressive milling on the side of this knife. Very grippy, very, very grippy. You got a nice milled out portion there that gives you contouring for your fingers. One gentle sweep through here where all three fingers fit very nicely, index finger there. You can easily put your thumb way up along the blade, but we've got some jimping back here for your general working use. Got some nice jimping on the liner, and this side is relieved so you can get to that liner very easily. It's a heavier blade, and it does, with a little bit of jiggle, fall shut. We do have a lanyard hole, and we do have jimping on the front side of the flipper that stands up pretty proud. And yeah, it can be failed. We got a lighter detent on this knife. Yep. Kind of like it the way it is. Can't really shake it out. But probably because of the weight of the blade, it just doesn't get the momentum going. They're all on bearings. Action is extremely smooth. Handy knife, a little on the heavier side, more so than the kendo. And this one I got in the gray blue G10. It does come in some other colors. Don't care for the ventilated deep carry clip, but it is a almost deep carry clip. A little bit left over in the end there, but it's that folded over style. With all of these, you do have those little button head screws. Doesn't seem like too many manufacturers are using the flat screws, which would be nice because it does give you a smoother in and out of the pocket. Perfectly centered blade, and you do get plenty of blade for your handle on this one. So that is the mako. Last, and as I say, certainly not least, the fin. This is a new release by Bestech, a dagger grind, and I did a review where I showed you two other variants. This one I picked up more recently. I liked the design so much that I grabbed one more, and you know, for the price point, which is somewhere $55–60 on White Mountain, then less your 10%, you get a really interesting budget level flipper. This one has black on the fuller and on the flats, and a nice satin on the grinds. The steel is Sandvik on this one, 14C28N. It's just kind of nice to see. Good serviceable stainless, certainly much more stainless than D2. They say Sandvik's used on a lot of kitchen knives where they see a lot of water and potential for rust and so forth, but it does hold an edge quite nicely. I am told and have seen demonstrated. There's your ventilated holes down there, your skeletonizing. And your Bestech pivot, but it's just such a cool knife. I'd like to see some other guys review these, the Bestech fin. It just has a real cool kind of covert look to it. Nice neutral handle, got a little bit of jimping down here and here. Jimping on the back of the handle, which is very useful. None on the blade, basically, because you've got a swedge type grind on the blade. You got a little bit of blackening here too on the flat on the spine, which is a neat touch. Perfectly symmetrical grind on that dagger. Oh yeah, and you've got a usable go forward. When did you ever see that on the dagger grind? You can actually stick your finger in there comfortably in order to choke up. Got a lanyard hole, and again, that handle's very neutral. You got a great cutout here, relief to get at the liner, and you've got a chamfered liner. Opens and closes very easily, and smooth action. No problems opening and closing that one. These come in a variety of handle G10 flavors with a lot of interesting variegated G10 colors, and they come in an all black blade, they come in all satin blade. Get a lot of variety there. I do like the fact that you've got that finger choil area there. Check these out on White Mountain Knives. I think he's still got pretty good selection of them. Let's bring them all back out for the finale. See if we can fit them all in here. One more to go. The mako. So the mako, the penguin, the swordfish, the kendo, and the fin. Wow, great memory. It's getting better all the time. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, we'll have a lot of interesting content coming up in the very near future. Got some blades coming in, some new stuff you haven't seen before, so stay tuned. This Old Sword, signing out.